In this video, I want to introduce to you a concept for you to take into consideration in this 1L Readmission Academic Training Camp / your own personal independent study. So you've heard the term self-awareness. I read a lot of personal development books and consume a lot of personal development content, and the buzzword nowadays is self-awareness. There's many different definitions out there, but for my formulation of self-awareness, it is simply pattern recognition. How do we recognize the behavior, thoughts, emotional patterns of ourselves, personality-wise, and the ones that serve us, and recognizing the patterns that don't serve us, and how do we transform those patterns and break those patterns so that we can get to more patterns that serve us. And this is an introspective process. So as I was doing my thing and training week by week and looking at the concept of self-awareness, I was like, we can apply this to the academic realm and academic self-awareness, where we can recognize patterns of the way that we are learning and the strategies that we are using to study. Think about a boxing, UFC training camp, or just any training camp in general. It's about creating those habitual patterns that serve that athlete, that particular person, and analyzing, evaluating the habitual patterns that don't serve them and breaking them, and coming up with a system to find the best pattern. So with this, I was like, in evaluating where I was wrong, I don't say wrong, but just off in my 1L year, I realized that I wasn't academically self-aware, meaning I wasn't recognizing when I was off course. I was caught in a pattern of behavior, study strategies, and behavior that did not serve me, and I did not recognize it. I was doing the readings week by week and doing what was required, but I was not mastering concept to concept from the week to week or bi-weekly or even monthly. I wasn't aware that I wasn't deeply retaining it, and if a hypothetical was presented to me, that I can officially write it out and figure it out using the IRAC method. I wasn't doing none of those things. So I thought, I was like, having more awareness academically can help any law student and can help us in this 1L academic dismissal period now, where I believe the training camp format helps us to be academically self-aware from the week to week, bi-weekly, or monthly, and how to be better self-aware in this particular moment, I believe is, and this may be elementary, but tracking it by an Excel sheet of how we are concentrating, how we are focusing, and I'll even put in there how fast we are reading cases, how fast we can brief cases, because speed and execution is the game of the law industry. Just think about when we are in a firm, we don't have all the time in the world to just look at this case and brief it. No, clients pay for speed. Clients pay for execution. That's what we are paid for. So there is a need for speed in this 1L academic dismissal period for you to consider building, because we have to train ourselves in that way. Not wait until we get to practice, but we have to adopt these performance methods and habits right here in this academic dismissal period. And we have the opportunity to develop this day by day, week by week. So I believe that's where I was completely off in my 1L in my 1L year. No self-awareness academically. And if we do not recognize when we're off course, we just fall into this pit hole. It's just like in our personal lives. If we don't recognize the patterns of behavior that we are engaging in emotionally, thoughts, we go to that pit hole. I thought, it's like, oh, okay, this is a grand realization, perspective that I was gaining. So look at pattern recognitions as you go back and look and rework your 1L year. Crack the patterns. Figure out the patterns that served you and figure out the patterns that didn't serve you. Again, we're going to have to revamp our whole entire legal analysis, legal writing approach. But it is in you to do and to create. So I am encouraging you to take this academic self-awareness into high consideration, because when we go back, we are going to be aware of our progress week by week, month by month, so that when we get to our 1L exams, total domination. And that is the same way a fighter, in a sense, because it's all about mental combat. A fighter loves and needs and wants to be aware of his inefficiencies and weakness before actually going into the match, and even when they go into the actual match. It's a game of evolving, and awareness is our way of evolving, is that we have a measure of control and choice of the things that we are aware of, but what we are unaware of is what controls us. So we want to get as aware as possible in recognizing the patterns of our personal, of our core beliefs, all the decisions that we are making, whether it's a personal life or even in our academic life. But making these choices and our core beliefs in our academic life is what is going to make the world of a difference. So track your patterns of your study, habits, focus, concentration on a weekly basis on an Excel sheet. You can do it in your unique way. But I believe if you can see your progress or where you're inefficient at, that you can make the steps to correct them and perfect them, baby. So keep it going, keep it rolling.